Hello everyone, we are here to discuss the pillar and the focus of successful futures. I'm Riham, the team leader of Group 9. With me, Noor, Saj, Yasin, Reda, and Irfan. Here is our plan. I will introduce the core idea, then each teammate will share their personal learning and how they will apply it. We will end with our group conclusion and take your question. So, what's the main idea? In simple terms, article argues that forecasting the future isn't some mythical talent, but it's a learnable skill. It's a structured process that requires a deliberate balance between two modes of thinking. One that is broad and creative, called flow, and other that is narrow and analytical, called focus. The ultimate goal is to overcome a common team problem known as the duality dilemma, where creativity thinkers and logical thinkers clash and instead harness both of their strengths to not just predict the future but to actively build it. Now let's break down the key points that support this idea. The author proposed a practical six-step methodology that guides this flower and focus process. First, your flower. You start by casting a wide net and gathering observation from the fringe where inventors and hackers are experimenting without any judgment. Then you focus, you analyze those observations to find hidden patterns using a framework called CIPTAR, which stands for contradiction, inflection, practice, hacks, extremes, and rarities. The process continues to alternate your flow again to question if these patterns are real trends and then focus to determine the right timing. Finally, you flow to create multiple future scenarios and strategies and focus one last time to rigorously test and stress test your plans before committing. In essence, this rhythmic process of expanding and contraction our thinking allows us to systemically convert weak signals from the fringe into a strong, actionable strategy.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my opinion. In this section, I am highlighting why the fuller focus approach matters. The key idea is that good futurist thinking isn't just about imagining bold positivity or analyzing details. It's about moving back and forth between both. Another example is the rise of electric bicycle. Innovators first had to flair by imagining transportation without fossil fuels and then focus by refining battery technology and scaling production. This combination of broad vision and target action is what allowed the idea to move from the fringe into the mainstream. Overall, the flare focus balance provides a practical method for generating ideas and turning them into achievable future strategies.
Hello everyone. For me, successful future isn't about having a crystal ball. It's about mastering a specific rhythm of thinking. It requires a deliberate shift between two modes, the expansive imagination of flair and the disciplined analysis of focus. Flair is what allows us to step outside of our comfort zones. It's how we spot those weak signals on the fringes and envision possibilities that challenge the status quo. But this kind of creative, disruptive thinking can't exist in a vacuum. It needs the grounding force of focus. It provides us the supportive structure, the data, the expert insight, the rigorous testing that turns bold ideas into credible strategies. The true power lies in the balance. Flair without focus can lead to unmoored fantasies, while focus without flair risks blindness to genuine change. It's a practical and persuasive cycle that transforms forecasting from guesswork into a structured, repeatable process. By intentionally alternating between these two modes, We do more than just predict the future. We build the resilience to navigate it and the courage to actively shape it. Thank you.
Well, thank you to the group leader to give me the opportunity to talk about like how actually the focus work. Basically, the writer actually wants to show that how the flare of focus actually, the flare of focus actually works in for the successful futuristics. What actually I have learned from here that is the core insight regarding a necessarily alternative, diversating, and convergent thinking mode is well supported by design thinking literature and provides a practical mechanism for overcoming organizational biases towards either excessive creativity or excessive aversions. The proposed of six methodology offers a structured yet flexible framework that systematically reduces cognitive bias common in trend analysis, particularly confirmation bias, anchoring on mainstream signals. The cheaper categorization tools is a valuable heuristic for pattern recognition and the properties enhancing signal detection in noise environments. The emphasis on scenario planning across probable, plausible, and possible future aligns with established strategic foresight practices and effectively addresses uncertainty in long-range planning. The article corrected identifies the duality dilemma between creative and analytical mindset as a primary barrier to effective foresight in traditional organizations, and the fear of focus for oscillation serves as an actionable resolutions mechanism. While the methodology is a robust, successful implementation, requires disciplined facilitations and diverse team compositors, organizations lacking these elements may struggle to realize the full value of the approach. Thank you.
This fixer futurists balance two key traits, flare and focus. They flower in the blow domination to stop hiding trends, like thinking small trade shifts to big change, or daring to predict idea other dismiss. Their focus keep this vision grounded. They really on real facts, deep and stressed knowledge, and the drive to solve actual problems, turning wild idea into possible futures.
In this section, I highlight my perspective on the flare-focused approach. Effective futurists achieve success by deliberately alternating between broad imaginative thinking, what we refer to as flare, and carefully analytical evaluation or focus. This deliberate interplay enables them to identify emerging signals, interpret complex patterns, and develop strategic actions that are both realistic and forward-looking. From my perspective, the method is particularly practical and convincing because it demonstrates that forecasting is not merely a matter of intuition and guesswork, but a structured and repeated process. By integrating creativity with rigorous analysis, organizations are able to maintain flexibility without losing direction, striking a balance that prevents them from becoming either overly rigid or unfocused. In this way, the flare-focused approach provides a robust and reliable framework for informed strategic planning and decision-making. Thank you.
My biggest takeaway for me was the concept of duality dilemma, the tension between creativity idea people and logical process people. I have seen this happen in group projects before, and I never had framework to solve it. Learning about the rhythmic practice of learning and focusing was game changer for me. It showed me that you don't have to choose between creativity and logic. You can systematically use both. I plan to gradually use this two-step rhythm in my own work. First, I will give myself permission to flow without judgment. When starting a project, I will intentionally brainstorm widely and explore fresh ideas before criticizing them. Then I will switch gears to focus. I will use that list of ideas and apply a more analytic lens storing, categorizing and pressure testing them to decide on the best next step. In my future career, I want to be a person who helps bridge the gap between different types of thinkers, using this flare and focus method to build more effective and innovative teams.
The flare and focus approach reveals an important idea that applies to both future thinking and organizational innovation. Balancing different ways of thinking leads to better results. Pixar encourages group creativity by mixing imagination with organized collaboration and feedback. Similarly, futurists gain reliable insights by switching between broad exploration and focused analysis. Both methods highlight the value of diverse viewpoints, organized approaches, and repeated evaluations to minimize bias and uncertainty. Essentially, whether looking ahead to technological changes or creating groundbreaking projects, effective teams can use organized processes that let imagination and reasoning support one another. This turns possibilities into practical strategies. So, what does it take not to just predict the future, but to actually shape it? Our exploration into the flare and focus reveals a powerful answer. Successful futurists don't choose between creativity and logic, they master the dance between them. Flare is our imaginative engine. It opens the door to wild possibilities and helps us spot the weak signals others miss. Focus is our strategic anchor. It grounds those possibilities in data, tests them rigorously, and turns what if into what's next. Through framework like cipher and scenario planning, we've seen how this cycle transforms scattered clues into actionable tested strategies. It resolves the tension between dreamers and analysts, proving that these modes of thinking aren't in opposition. They are essential partners. The lesson is clear. Organization that is to institutionalize this rhythm of flare and focus do more than just adapt to change. They build the resilience to navigate uncertainty and the courage to actively build a better future. Thank you everyone for listening.